What's up, guys? How we doing? We got some really, really good news. Everybody can see that, obviously. From the thumbnails, from the title. It is official. It only took until, what are we talking about, 4 p.m. Eastern time, roughly, on a Tuesday, to finally get the Jalen Carter decision from the NFL. We'll get into that. But by the way, make sure to drop a like if you haven't already. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Had to hop on here, obviously, for the breaking news, the very good news. And I guess we should probably just start there. So I'll put this up on the screen for people wondering, curious if this is official. It is. Jalen Carter will be playing on Sunday. Fantastic news. There you see Adam Schefter and others have reported, but the NFL is fining Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter $57,222, which for the record is what he makes per week. So if you're wondering why he's getting fined, that is what a weekly allowance would be for spitting on Dak Prescott. League also said that the game he was ejected will serve as the one-game suspension. And after talking with the Eagles, NFL, NFLPA, Jalen has decided to not appeal and focus on the Chiefs game. So it's crazy, too, by the way, because they essentially say it there that they were going to suspend him for a game. It's just that he basically already served it. So fantastic news. I mean, it's good news considering that. I honestly, and feel free, everybody jump in, let me know your thoughts in the comments, in the chat. Somebody said just fine him $60K. What's up with it? Well, it's because it's the game check amount, like I mentioned. But seriously, I thought that this was going to end up being more than a one-game suspension, right? I mean, like, look, we're on to a Tuesday. As Mike Florio, and I mentioned this in the last video, he said that typically you would already have a decision. So the good news was, and this is why I shared this in the video, hey, things are looking much better. Chance here for the Eagles and Jalen Carter. Turns out we were right, which is good. But it's still the fact that you start going on later and later. I was like, I don't know, man. There's something fishy about this. The NFL wants to make a point. They want to set an example with Jalen Carter here. And by the way, not good with spitting on someone. Should not do that. But you go back and watch the tape. Dak, I don't know what he mouthed there. He was certainly trying to instigate something. Still, JC should have done better. He knows that. He learned from it. We're moving on. But the big news is Jalen Carter will play on Sunday against the Chiefs. And my gosh, that is one of the worst pieces of info for the Kansas City Chiefs. So good news there. By the way, shout out to the sponsor, as always, Underdog, for many of the other giveaways and everything else. If you've not, make sure to scan the QR code. Use code Philly Special for the games, the bets ahead this weekend. They got some crazy stuff, new, exciting avenues of games that they've unlocked and released for other people as well, and could not do what we do on the channel without the support of the sponsors. So shout out to them. Use the code or the link in the description. Also, these hats here too, by the way, Thursday Football Club, got some more of those in the near future. So just stay tuned. Got a comment here from Drew. Well, Mahomes just pooped himself. Yeah. Member for 11 months. That's what gets you up there on the comment section. He's definitely not going to like to see it. Do we get a repeat of the Super Bowl? It's funny because it's the exact same broadcast. It's the Fox broadcast, Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady. Got the guys there. Maybe we just run it back, you know? Again, it's just crazy the fact that the NFL essentially got it right here, because I was thinking that it wasn't going to happen with Troy Vincent, the other parts that I mentioned too in the last video, but there's been some really big beef. And obviously we understand that with the tush-push, and the NFL hates it. Roger Goodell wants to ban the play. He wants it out of there. Tried to go through a mediator of the Green Bay Packers, which, you know, man, can't wait for week 10 once that happens and get to kind of return fire there. But the fact that they still were, look, he served the suspension. It would have set a really bad precedent, I think, in my mind, to go, okay, he didn't play a game. Now you also want to ban him or suspend him from another game beyond that. So thankfully, yeah, we're good. And it looks like, we'll keep you posted on future videos and everything else, but Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs, not looking so great, potentially going to miss Sunday's game. I think it's more likely than not. We'll get the official full injury report starting tomorrow, Wednesday, for the teams, but keeping you guys up to date on that. So good news there, like I mentioned. The other aspect to this, and I will share this as well for people curious or asking, so not only is, Leonard, Xavier Worthy out, Carter in, going to be a fun one. That certainly helps, makes life easier. But here's the other part, right? So as Adam Schefter says, the Eagles, again, Jalen Carter's not going to appeal to the NFL, accept the suspension, the fine, move on, you're good to go. But then Adam Schefter also says the Eagles and Drew Rosenhaus worked out an agreement the team will not use the suspension to void guarantees in Jalen Carter's contract or seek signing bonus payment forfeiture. So there's still going to be discipline because Nick Sirianni said this. The Eagles have publicly come out and said this, but there's going to be discipline that happens internally. We will not know what that is based on what Nick Sirianni, and I think Fangio reiterated that in his press conference as well, but certainly what Nick Sirianni said. Won't know exactly what that punishment ever was, but the fact that the Eagles are at least saying, hey, look, we're not going to take any of the signing bonus payment. All right, little showing of good faith, goodwill there towards JC. The question that Anthony DeBona, or kind of a little tongue-in-cheek, but the thought that Anthony DeBona threw out there, and shout out to Anthony, will be on later this evening if you guys want to come hang out on the live stream then, probably 8:30 Eastern time, roughly. But the thought that he threw out there was just because they're not banning or just because they're not looking into a forfeiture of signing bonuses or any guaranteed payment doesn't necessarily mean that they won't go towards bringing this up when it comes to contract negotiations, right? Because it's still in the back of the mind. It happened. Now, I am of the belief, and I've shared this multiple times, I think the vast majority of us are, that Jalen Carter learns from this, but some people have thrown it out there and said, hey, well, he's had some shows of emotion. He's had multiple instances, which is true. He has had this. But I think this may be that next step, him learning his lesson. Hopefully we see the growth. As Vic Fangio said in his press conference today, if you did not catch that, actions speak louder than words. So obviously we need to see it, right? You can tell me a million times, but if this keeps on happening, if we see this again, certainly this year, it's a really terrible sign. But if we see this again over the next couple of years even, I think that someone will bring it, well, okay, there you go. There's another instance. Just interesting though. But again, keeping it under the umbrella of the Eagles, handling things internally. Great news all around. So, good deal on that. Jerry with a 2. Appreciate that, Jerry. Let's just wipe off the sweat like Josh Sweat did. Yeah, do one for Sweaty. Just one for Sweaty. Got, it was a little bit of anxiety-inducing. Not crazy. I still think that I guess I could say this now a little bit more confidently, but I still think we would have won even if Jalen Carter had been suspended, but absolutely. I mean, you see the difference that JC not being on the field made. We talked about this on the last one, right? Because in the Dallas game, Jordan Davis and Moro Jomo played 50 snaps each. It's the first time since 2016 that the Eagles had 2 defensive tackles play that many snaps in a game. They're not intended to do that. We all are under that impression. We're all under the understanding that that is not what they're supposed to do. But I'm telling you what, I took Moro Jomo to have over half a sack last game because I was buying into the hype, the training camp, the pressures, everything else there. And I was wrong, so apologies if you were telling me. But it was under the thought of the guys of Jalen Carter would play, and he's going to have the double team. So this is a drastic change in this game, as it should be. But understandably, drastic change in this game. And I'm probably going to double dip if I'm not lying here. If I'm being honest, I'm probably going to double dip and go with the Moro Jomo line as well because there was enough shown. Shout out to JD as well. Jordan Davis played lights out. I mean, for asking him to play that many snaps on a dude that, last year probably, I think there was a couple instances where he didn't play but like 15 snaps. And then he goes out there and plays 50. What was it, 6 tackles, a tackle for loss, a couple pressures, should have had a sack or 2 and let Dak Prescott slip out of his hands. But, yeah, he's going to be good. Both of those will. Yeah, Philly Luke, see, Moro Jomo did get to Dak, but he threw the ball last second. That's true. He had a quarterback hit, at least one of them. It's big time. This is Amp Dad 87 with the 2. Appreciate that. BTA, week 2. Winning by at least 10. Well, if you feel that way, you should probably go ahead and put that bet down. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, now this was before this news, so it may change very quickly, but the last time that I saw, the line opened, well, I should rewind here. The line opened at Kansas City, right? We go to Kansas City. Kansas City was a 1.5-point favorite. Now, that was before Xavier Worthy and the shoulder injury. So now that he is very, very likely out, that moved to 1.5-point favorites for Philly. So you completely reversed it. And after this news, I mean, I kind of thinking like Eagles, surely it's going to get up to like 3. I don't know if we get 3.5, but definitely big favorites. Come on now. Cheesesteak. Team should just let Jalen Carter out there by himself at the first snap. Yeah, sure. Bigley, it's true. Technically, in a way, he got suspended, but he did not have to do anything extra from the first game because he didn't play a single snap. I mean, registered-wise, he was out there after the kickoff. But, yeah, you're right. For those, again, just joining, refresher, update, making it official. NFL fining Jalen Carter $57,222 for spitting on Dak Prescott. That is his game check. And also the fact that he would serve the game that he was ejected will serve as the one-game suspension. So I guess, at the same time, too, let it be known if any future player spits on another one, then it's most likely a one-game suspension is what that's telling me. It's a fine of a game check and a one-game suspension. That's the precedent. Now, Whisper, that's a totally fair point as well. Should Dak Prescott have been fined? I mean, I'm biased, but I would have probably thrown it out there. Might as well. I mean, he was trying to instigate it also. And I don't know necessarily if what he said was people were trying to lip read, and did he say something that was alluding to Jalen Carter's past or whatnot? It looks like it. Again, that's total speculation. Who knows? But there's so many mic'd up footage and clips and everything else. You would assume that we could get an answer to that. I'm curious if the NFL, they probably won't. They're probably trying to just fine, suspension already served, move on, get rid of this, because they want to tarnish the viewpoint on it. But, yeah. Great news. Great news all around. Another reason to drop a like. We got 1,500 people almost in here, only 200 likes. Hit the like button. JC's playing. The Bread Man, didn't think I'd say this, but the first time we'll get to see the Bread Man in the regular season this year will be week 2, not week 1. But at least he'll be there. And I think it was John Barchard who said this earlier. Give credit where credit is due. I think he said, hopefully we get $57,000 worth of an angry Jalen Carter on the Chiefs on Sunday. I don't know. You take a Jalen Carter to get a sack? Might have to do that. You think he's hungry? He was already ready, but get that extra week in the waiting. Matt with a 20 bomb. Appreciate that, Matt. I didn't see a comment, but you're the man, as always. You know what? Just to keep the party going, because there's so much hype here and everything else, we'll give away some memberships. We might as well. I got 5. 5 more to give away. Jason Smith got one. Suzanne, Fred. 2 more. DJ Jones. And Jeffrey Todd. Congratulations. You guys got a membership. Access to the emojis, as well as the special members-only giveaways. Got some tickets coming at the end of the month, if you're a member of the channel. So 5 of you entered in there. And also, we're almost 138,000 subscribers, which, once that happens, going to be giving away the painting from Jordan Spector. I mentioned that in the last video. Might as well do that. Super chat from Zach. What's up? The 5 bomb. I think they couldn't suspend him because of what Dak did. I think that put a huge hole in the NFL, what they wanted to do, and that's why it took so long. Yeah, I could see that. And also, you do wonder, did it play a factor? Totally different circumstances, but you wonder, does it play a factor with what Lamar Jackson happened and the fan that was pushing him and he pushed back the fan? It's just not a great look. Ultimately, fan is in the wrong first off, but even the retaliation, do they get involved there? It's just always the other aspects that they're having to look at. And so I'm 100% with you. Yes, if Dak had not done anything, if they could very clearly paint a picture that way, I'm totally sold on the idea that there was more of an agenda here. It was, yes, the tush push. It was a combination of that. It was the Eagles thing. It was Troy Vincent. It was Jeffrey Lurie, their altercation or their heated exchange back at the spring meetings. If there was any way that they could have done this without getting on maybe the rest of the leagues, or at least fan-wise, of going oh my gosh, that's crazy bias there, it's almost a foregone conclusion. It would have been, oh, Jalen Carter suspended another game or another 2 games. And a couple more of a bigger fine. Yeah, I would have been shocked if that was not the case. But nonetheless, they could not do it. We got JC back. Kristen, probably they're moving on. I highly doubt it. You're asking what they're doing with Dak Prescott. He needs to be suspended. It'd be cool if they just threw out a fine at least to say, here you go. And like I mentioned, I really hope that they look into more of what actually went on behind the scenes. And surely there's some mic'd up footage because I would be curious exactly what he said. But regardless, as Marcus mentioned here with the 2 bomb, says JC on speed turf at AT&T in November will be diabolical. Yeah, that's actually another very good point. Because the reason that this whole thing happened, well, not the whole thing, some of it. Jalen Carter was so hyped, as all of us were. But I did a video about this. We did a short about this. Just, building it up. So maybe there was some part of mine to blame here. But building up the Tyler Booker, the Cowboys rookie guard, calling out Jalen Carter, being asked, who are you looking forward to playing most? Whether you want to say it's a calling out or it's a show of respect or whatever, these guys use everything for motivation. So I can guarantee you, because you could see how Jalen Carter was talking to Tyler Booker right before the game, right before the incident happened. He saw that and he goes, okay, cool. You're looking forward to playing me? All right, let's see if you say that after the first matchup. So the fact that he was already talking to him, and yes, then Dak Prescott saw that, he steps in, the whole thing happened, and you don't get it. But Marcus, that is 100% accurate. You think he won't have that circled, and he has to wait until the second matchup in Dallas? Oh, yeah. Jalen Carter matched up against Tyler Booker. He's going to wish for anything but that. Rich, appreciate it, man. Matt as well. Appreciate you guys, all of you. See the comment, the support, everything there. We'll do 5 more. We might as well, right? Because this is just some fantastic news that we were getting ready for. And as I mentioned in the last video, as soon as we get this, we drop, we go live. Brandon Kobe, that's also a very fair point. I'm glad you mentioned that. Aren't they filming for Hard Knocks? They are. Justin, by the way, getting the membership. Waffles, John Kroll, Charles Hoffman, and Melrose with the memberships. Congrats. They're all random, by the way. Supreme Rich, what's up? I saw the comment about the car. Apologies. That sounded rough. Prayers your way. Hopefully nothing major, but I saw the comment about the car. But yes, going back to that comment earlier, a second ago, from the comment as far as the Hard Knocks, they are filming Hard Knocks, and you would have to think that we're going to get at least a little bit. I don't know how much the NFL is going to want to share, or what if they get a little bit of a say to, retract certain things, or what they are able to allow or not allow. But I certainly hope so. Yeah, if we definitely can. As Arthur saying it's rigged. Yeah, Muhammad, no, there's no. Yeah, Josh is paying JC's fine. Sure, yeah. If I'm paying his fine, we need to get a whole lot more super chats in here. He's good. He's making more than enough money, and he will absolutely break the bank whenever he gets it. I love it, though. We're seeing lots of other comments on other topics as well. Adori's the AKA Bradbury 2.0. I know the other takeaways and other aspects of it. Like I say, just wanted to hop on here, break the news. Jalen Carter will play on Sunday, 4:25 Eastern. Thomas and I will be streaming for that game. So as always, for the game streams, come hang out. Make sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on. Don't miss out. Got another video that'll drop probably tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. It'll have the most recent up-to-date injury updates, reports, everything from camp. So stay tuned there. Also, a game preview, and then, of course, getting ready for the game and everything else. And then tonight, as I mentioned too, Anthony DeBona will be joining. Probably about 8:30 Eastern, if you want to set your calendars, come hang out. So lots of other breakdowns. Will Shipley, I'll just wrap up with this before we call it. And for those, watching now, go rewind, watch it back. Got the full recap for Jalen Carter, what it means for the Eagles and everything else there. The only other thing that I would just share real quickly for people curious and up to date on the news is we did get Tank Bigsby. Great sign there. I talked about him in the last video, so you can feel free to watch that one as well. But the news on Will Shipley, people asking like, hey, why did we get Tank Bigsby? Cool. Like the general sentiment, which I understand, is I like Tank Bigsby. There's some promise there, but did we really need him? What's up with that move? Why? What's going on? All this other stuff. So Derek Gunn, you see there on the screen, sources tell him that Shipley does have a fractured rib, and the move for Bigsby is not only to add depth at running back, but Bigsby can also help out in special teams, including returning kicks. So we will see. Speaking of the injury updates, stay tuned tomorrow. Hopefully get the first official update and see where Will Shipley is at. That was the assumption. I talked about that on the last video too, but the thought was like, look, it's a great trade. but you're trading away a 5th round, a 6th round. Howie will recoup those in the draft. We had 13 picks prior to that, so there's still plenty of picks to go around. But you don't necessarily make a move like that unless you have maybe a weakness, maybe a need, something like that. So yeah, stay tuned. More details to come on Will Shipley. As far as Mike Hilton, the cornerback, he worked out. We'll see. I know everybody's wanting a cornerback. Everybody is wanting a move. I might be there with you. I still say be patient, hold out for Jakorian Bennett. There's a possibility. And if anything happens, you guys know we'll be going live, jumping on, everything else there. But nothing else in terms of free agents. People also asking about sources. Tell your source who revealed the Zadarius Smith thing to tell us about a cornerback. Nothing that I've heard. Nothing in terms of a corner. Does not mean that Howie Roseman's done. I do think that if it goes another couple weeks and Adoree Jackson struggles, Vic Fangio said that Adoree Jackson will be playing, will be starting against the Chiefs. No, that's not the best sign, but I still think that we're going to be all right. Howie's got plenty of ammunition if we do need to make a move. And as always, we'll be jumping on. So, like I mentioned again, wrapping up here, drop a like, subscribe, stay tuned. More videos, more content. Appreciate you guys as always. Jalen Carter, playing on Sunday. Go Birds.